All right, let's have a heart-to-heart here with my YouTube channel, with everybody who watches me, supporters, and let's have a heart-to-heart with these developers. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm about to talk about. If you're not familiar with the channel and you're new to the channel, I make Titanfall videos and Apex videos. I usually review every Apex season, and I usually talk about Titanfall 1, 2, and 3, or look forward to 3, hoping, praying one day they'll make a Titanfall 3. Now, again, before we begin this video, I'm not crushing anybody personally. I'm not coming at any developers in their personal life or calling them bad people or anything like that. I'm purely discussing gaming. There are weird people who cannot separate the art from the artist, and that is not what I do here. I simply criticize their actions and I talk about their actions. So before we get into the video, I just wanted to cover that. I just wanted to go over that. And without further ado, let's talk about Respawn Entertainment. Didn't think I would ever have to make this video. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host, the smoothest fingers in the gaming industry. You know who it is. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Hope you're having a wonderful, God-blessed, God-given day. Love you so much. Hope you're having a wonderful, again, blessed, beautiful day. Just wanted to say that again because, you know, that's very important. So, what I wanted to talk about today is Respawn Entertainment. Now, if you were not there for my live stream last night, I highly recommend checking out some of my live streams, not just to come and watch me or just to come and support me. That's also cool as well, but because we have a good community and we usually discuss gaming topics. So if you're interested in this, check out the Discord. Come on, check out the live streams over on twitch.tv/ZAHAZ, and the Discord link will always be in the description of my videos. We talk about everything related to gaming and especially Respawn Entertainment, Titanfall 3, and Apex Legends news. So in this video, what we're talking about is Respawn Entertainment, and this is a message to the developers. The developers at Respawn Entertainment, for me, over the last, I'd say 12 years, up and probably until about this year, were the best developers in gaming, period. I'm a first-person shooter player. I've always been a first-person shooter player. I play other games. Obviously, if you're familiar with the channel, you know this. But if you don't, again, I play open world games. I play first-person shooter games. Play games like Minecraft as well. I play a variety of games, but I specialize in first-person shooter games. That's just what I like. And Respawn Entertainment has made the best, in my opinion, the best, and I could even say objectively, the best first-person shooters, period. They made COD 4, the first Modern Warfare, not this new bullshit Modern Warfare that came out last year. They made Modern Warfare 2, at least they made about 75% of Modern Warfare 2 until the lawsuit ended up happening. And they went and formed Respawn Entertainment after that and made Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2. For me, the best shooters of last gen, or I guess you could say current generation, since people don't even have PS5s and Xbox Series X's yet. But they definitely make, to me, the best first-person shooters, just period. I mean, the only other genre I think people can really say that there's another developer who makes the same first-person shooters is Bungie. I mean, Destiny's a pretty solid game, and Halo is a classic in its own right. So there's Respawn and Bungie, the only people that I can sit there and say, yeah, they definitely make the best. And then you can say Treyarch as well, with Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Blackout for me. But at the same time, and I continually stress this, that they have fallen from grace in the first-person shooter realm. Jedi Fallen Order was a really solid game. I really liked it. It didn't hold me over or let me get into the Star Wars genre like I usually do with Battlefront and everything like that. I didn't get drug into it with Fallen Order. I kind of played it once and that was pretty much it. It was a really solid game and they really did a great job with it. However, they have kind of shit the bag, I guess you would say, drop the bag, shit the bag, whatever you want to say, with Apex Legends. And I've been a very hard critic on Apex Legends, not because Apex Legends used to be a bad game or is even still a bad game. It's because it's incredibly mediocre for what the product that they usually put out is, and Apex Legends just falls short in every regard. Respawn is known for setting trends, not following them. And when they entered the Battle Royale genre, it seemed like they were following the footsteps of other people. Respawn has never really been about that, and I didn't understand why they would even enter into that genre when they didn't need to go into it. They could have admitted and made something way better than Battle Royale. Now, they could have still used Battle Royale assets as they did in Apex Legends, and Apex Legends is very different from any other Battle Royale, but it's not really pushing the genre forward in any direction. The only thing I feel like Apex Legends did to push it forward was abilities and ranked. And honestly, Battle Royale ranked is pretty trash if it's not surrounded in kills. Anybody who watches competitive Battle Royale games from Warzone to Fortnite understand that if kills is not the primary focus of the game, with a little emphasis on winning the game, it's not really fun to watch, and it's really not fun to play. I mean, look at Warzone's last tournament. It wasn't fun. Look at Apex's tournament. Sure, there's a little bit of popularity there, but it's not really entertaining to watch compared to other video games such as Valorant and stuff like that, because it's not fun. Battle Royales are not fun to take competitive if they're not surrounded in kills. They're slow, they're tedious, they're boring sometimes. It can really get drawn out. And that's the same thing with Apex Legends here, and the only thing that they've done to really progress or move the FPS genre or move the Battle Royale genre forward was ranked and league play, and I really don't feel like it's even that good, and that's just my humble opinion. I never really thought it was that good compared to games or other first-person shooters who, even though they don't have maybe a ranked play or a league play such as Warzone or such as a Fortnite, at least in Warzone or Fortnite, when you're not getting into battles, you have other stuff to do, such as chase bounties, chase recons, and do other things that are little in the game that help you keep engaged when you're not into the action. Whereas Apex Legends, there's not really much to do when you're not fighting, and it really creates long, boring, drawn out games, and it's just not fun for me, and it hasn't been fun for me in about, I'd say 3 months, 4 months, but really since about, I'd say about a year, Apex hasn't been fun for me. Now, why am I making this video? Like, what was the trigger that made me make this? So my friend Gonzo, if you guys don't understand who Gonzo is, you're not familiar with the channel, you don't come to the Twitch streams. Gonzo's a really good friend of mine. He comes into the chats all the time. He's always in Discord. He's always in Twitch, and he wanted to see me review Apex Legends Season 8. I usually review every Apex season, and I want to talk about it and say how they can improve on it and how can they get better and how they can use this to benefit Titanfall 3 or their next first-person shooter genre going forward. But with this season, I feel like they made no strides whatsoever to improve Apex Legends other than adding a little minute details. My main complaint with Apex leading up to the last season was no crossplay. That ended up getting solved, but the connection was so bad that you really couldn't play any games, especially in the first couple weeks of the game. And with Call of Duty launching and Valorant being priority and a lot of other games coming out at the time, I just didn't feel like Apex was there for me. With the last season of Apex, the most critical thing and the most prioritized thing that I wanted them to fix was either bumping up the player count or making the games faster or adding in some type of way to have fun while you were playing or not getting into gunfights at the same time. I really wanted that. I kind of wanted a mix and a balance for that, but the number one thing that I wanted was to be able to choose our maps, and we still don't have that. We have 3 maps in rotation for Apex Legends now. We have World's Edge, we have Kings Canyon, and we have Olympus. I feel like Olympus is the best version of all these maps. It's really fast-paced sometimes. It has vehicles. There's a lot to do in it, and it feels like there's a lot of action going on, and there's a lot of points of interest that really keep you engaged. And plus, the map just looks beautiful, and it's a splendor to play on. Now, that's just my personal opinion. People may disagree with it, especially with World's Edge. People really love that for competitive, and I think World's Edge is a solid map, especially for a BR. But what we all agree on across the board is that Kings Canyon is by far the worst map in Apex Legends. But ever since they removed Skull Town, especially last season, it just wasn't fun to play, especially for competitive, especially for higher up and ranked play matches. And I felt very disappointed by that when I logged in last night. Not only did I not have a fun time playing just because the servers were laggy, it was glitchy, it wasn't really intuitive at all, and nothing really that was added was really cool other than the new weapon they added, the little bolt action weapon. I just felt like it wasn't new, it wasn't fresh, it wasn't like there was a new season. It just felt like copying and pasting again. It felt like we basically went back to season 1 where we just have Kings Canyon and that's all we can play. There's no new modes, there's no new fun stuff, there's not solo duos, trios, there's none of that. And I know that they don't want to make a solos because it kind of ruins the game, but what's wrong with giving people an extra mode to play? There's no deathmatch, there's no none of that. Whereas Warzone's constantly updating their modes, even though they take them away, there's always a new mode that you can play if you don't like the core function of the game. It's the same with Fortnite. Fortnite's always adding in new modes, and they always keep the staple of their new modes. Apex is not making any progress or any steps forward in any of those regards. Now, moving on from judging Apex and criticizing Apex, I wanted to talk about why Apex has always been kind of mediocre and kind of on my bad side as a game in general. And that's because that really hindered Titanfall 3's development, period. And I know that it did because Titanfall 3 was in development. I have that confirmed many of times, as I've said many times on this channel, and I'll continue to speculate and say that it's still being worked on and it will be developed sometime in the future. We just don't know when. Why I'm always speculating and making these videos, because I want to stay on their ass. We want to stay on their ass. We want to make sure that they do make these video games. We love Titanfall 3. A lot of people love Titanfall 3. And again, there's a lot of people, a lot of reviewers who say this constantly, that Titanfall 2 was the most innovative, creative, and best first-person shooter of the last generation. The only reason Titanfall 2 didn't succeed as much as it did is because it didn't have crossplay. There was nothing keeping the launch of the game stable. When I say that, I mean it was launched between Battlefield 1 and COD 4. Infinite Warfare doesn't count. We don't talk about that game. It was doomed to fail at the time, and it still succeeded massively. It's still one of the best games of all time. It was reviewed well, and people still played this game all the way up leading till June, and I still played it and even made a montage on it this year. However, since Titanfall 2 has seemingly died as its lifespan is now drawn out, it's going into its 5th year as it's being released, we still don't have anything related to Titanfall 3, and that's because Apex Legends is so quote-unquote popular. And that's my problem with Apex Legends, is because we're not going to get a Titanfall 3 because they're focused on Apex Legends, and I don't feel like Apex Legends, even if they did focus on Apex Legends fully, which I don't believe they are, they're splitting their studios up, which is a terrible idea in my opinion to do. You don't ever see Rockstar really split up their studios too much. You see it here and there, but for big projects like Red Dead, GTA, all the studios come together to make that game. You just see that they're splitting up to make different projects such as Jedi Fallen Order, Medal of Honor, and Apex Legends, and possibly a Titanfall 3, that we're not really getting the full creative focus that these developers need, especially in this time of gaming with the pandemic, quote unquote, and all the other stuff going on right now. We really need them to be together and focused on one project, and I feel like that project has to be Titanfall 3, and I continually stress that, and this is my message to the Respawn devs, that you guys continually focus on Apex Legends and you split up these developers, and your games are slightly going down and falling. Not necessarily Jedi Fallen Order or even the Titanfall series, as we know that those are great series, and even the older games that you made. I haven't played Medal of Honor, I haven't looked into Medal of Honor, I'm just not in the VR games. That could be a good game as well, but if Apex is any staple or any type of model or any paradigm for moving forward with Respawn Entertainment, I have to say that I'm not looking forward to any first-person shooter that you put out, because Apex is such a half fleshed out multiplayer experience and battle royale experience, to say the least. It took a year and a half to get crossplay. Crossplay barely works for the first month and a half of it, whereas games like Warzone and Fortnite handle it almost seamlessly. Warzone has its own issues, as we all know. Sometimes in Apex you just couldn't even get into games, and it just shows that it's just disappointing. It's disappointing how they copied and almost didn't make any revolutions in the genre at all, and that's so disappointing, because with COD 4 was the first game and the only Call of Duty to get Game of the Year, and it set the trends for what Call of Duty is now, with the creative class system, with the kill streak system. That was all COD 4's staple. And with Modern Warfare 2, we all understand the renovations and innovations that were made in that game. Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2 was the startup of the quote-unquote junkie or adrenaline rush gameplay that everybody copied. Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, everybody stemmed from that. Now, we could go back and say other games kind of started it, but they really innovated and really made it fun and action-packed and great to play. It just needed some touch-ups. And with Titanfall 3, I felt like they would hit a sweet spot with gamers, with finding that action-packed junkie quote-unquote mentality that I like to say, and finding that fun, engaging, sometimes slow, methodical pace that could be found in Titanfall if you really play different modes and play different things. All in all, I'm just kind of disappointed in Respawn at this point. I don't feel like Titanfall 3 is even probably close to being done with development. I know that it's probably in development. It's probably being like really worked on and being created at the moment, or at least they're making plans for it to be made. However, I don't feel like Respawn is even taking Apex Legends seriously. And again, I'm not saying Apex is a bad game. I'm just saying it's incredibly mediocre. It's always been mediocre. It's always sat between that 6 and 7 review rating for me. And it doesn't feel like they're even pushing the game forward at all. They're just kind of updating it just to say that they updated it to make more money and support whatever it is that EA wants them to do. Now, again, I do understand who is publishing the game. It is EA. We all know how EA is. However, I expect more out of Respawn and Vince Appella, and I want to hold them to a higher standard. And I'm never, ever going to put somebody who's always shown me or already shown me that they can make great games into a lower standard when I know that the capability is there, and we just need to see them get on their high horse and do it again. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? I really wanted to talk about this. We'll continue to talk about Titanfall 3 in future videos. In the next video, we'll talk about the Titanfall 3 speculations, some of the rumors that I've seen, not too much, but just enough to make a video on it. And we'll continue to stay on Respawn's ass no matter what game they put out, and we'll see where they go. This doesn't mean that Respawn's a shitty developer. I'm not calling them garbage. I'm not saying that they're bad developers. I'm just saying that they're falling a little bit. They're slipping down the slope, and we need to grab them by their britches, grab them by their pants, pull them up, and make sure that they stay up there, because I really want to see a great game. Even if it's not Titanfall 3, I want to see their games continue to succeed. I want to continue to see them push the genre forward, and I want to see, at least, if anything else, Apex Legends improve. Thank you so much for watching the video. Bless up. As always, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.